on YouTube. Are we live right now?
Hello there, and welcome back to the Coaching Support Summit. A summit I set up during, I suppose, these crazy times at the moment, interviewing people from all corners of the world in relation to different parts of our lives that we may be struggling with, and interviewing coaches in a variety of areas so that we cover all things and as much as we can at the summit. So we've gone from EFT, we've had people talking about replenishing themselves, we've talked about resilience, we've talked about social media, we've also talked about email marketing with ease and ethics. And today I'm super duper delighted to be joined by Tina Jesso. And Tina is going to talk to us about something completely different today, where we're going to be talking about finding our passion and finding our purpose. You're very welcome, Tina.
Thank you so much for having me, Dolores. And I just want to say, first of all, that I really salute you for putting together this summit and bringing together all these notable speakers that can help so many. And I have to confess, I listened to a couple of them yesterday and they were amazing. So thank you so much for including me on that roster.
Not at all. And thank you for agreeing to come on, because, it's like that, it's different areas. We really want to my idea was to do people and so it's in the one place and to have you hear me okay there?
Yeah, the connection was a little bit wonky for a few seconds. Can you hear me okay?
I can indeed. It told me that all right. So I suppose, Tina, I would love you to tell us about your journey to where you are now, because you're a co-founder. One of them is, it's really exciting, I think, and I'm really looking forward to sharing it with people. You're the co-founder of LoveInSync, which is a new concept type dating website for those passionate about personal growth. Hello, I think that sounds wonderful. And also a coaching subscription program called Life Makeover Challenge Collective even. So talk to me about the journey, your personal journey that has brought you to these places where you're now launching these two new wonderful initiatives.
Okay. Well, again, thank you for the opportunity. And a couple of years ago, I'm 57 years old, and I've been working 32 years in the same field. And I'm in Montreal, Canada. And just maybe to give a little bit of background first, I'm originally from a rural area in Newfoundland, Canada. And I just decided that I need more out of life. I need more juice out of life, and I had to see more things. So I decided to leave the province after finishing my business degree and moved to Montreal and learn a second language at the age of 23. And then I started working immediately in something that I was really passionate about, and that was in promoting education in Canada through our financial product called the Education Savings Plans. I didn't know anything about selling, and I barely spoke French. I barely spoke the language, and it's predominantly French here. But I just knew that this product would help so many parents to, make sure that their kids had every choices available for them for their education. So, and they could pursue it anywhere in the world. So yeah, and there was unlimited earning potential. So those two things combined, doing something that I was really psyched about and I really believed in. And also the fact that there was unlimited earning. I said, I'm in. And so I built a team and I stayed there for over 32 years and loved the experience. And at the end, I was, when you're really passionate about something and you really love what you do and you put your heart and soul into it and you know what that's all about, right, Dolores? When you really feel it deeply, it can make an impact, so much so that at the end I was nominated into their Hall of Fame because I had built their largest sales force ever in the country.
Wow.
So it was lovely to get there. I wasn't doing it for that type of recognition, but it was beautiful to have that underlined and to leave the company on such a high. And they even awarded me a trip for 2 down south as well. It was just so lovely. So yeah, but you know what? After 32 years of doing the same thing, which was totally amazing, but I was running out of steam. I knew, and it's good when it comes to figuring out what your life purpose is or what your passions are, is that they change, right? They're kind of organic. And because of your life experience, because you're growing in different directions. So it's really important to take your temperature from time to time on that. And from the time that I said, okay, I'm ready for another challenge, it took me about 5 years to leave. And I believe that the universe is around us to support us, and I support us sometimes in mysterious ways, because the moment I made the declaration that I wanted to leave, guess what started happening? The business started going down. People started leaving, right? And that never happened to me before. It was either going up or it was steady, little tiny dips, but never like this. So it was I had to work twice as hard in order to earn the same revenues. So then I said, Tina, you have to do something, and soon. So over dinner with my best friend Susan one night, and I was talking about my latest misadventures with online dating. And I literally pounded my hand on the table and I said to her, Dolores, my God, if I was in charge of these dating websites, this is how I would do it. Like, I was just so frustrated at stuff like the ghosting, people that disappear. You connect, you got a great connection, they disappear. And catfishing. I don't know if you're familiar with that term. Okay, catfishing is people who set up fake profiles, either to lure you into a date where they think they can sell their beautiful personality, in spite of the fact it was set up dishonestly and totally without, any authenticity, or they hit you up for money, right? They draw you in and they create stories and then they ask you for money. That's catfishing. And this whole swiping culture, right? In some of the apps, the online dating apps, I don't like his hair. I don't like this. I don't like that. And it has like an expendable, disposable kind of feel to it, right? So, and just to give you a little bit of background on that, I was married. We discovered that yesterday.
Yes.
Right? When we were chatting, we were married on almost the same day.
I know. Same year. Crazy.
Same year, 1999, June. So, I got divorced. That was another crazy situation, but I got divorced in 2008 and then started dating from there. And I had, two very, significant relationships during all of that, but interspersed in all of that was online dating. Right. And it's really evolved to that point where you just feel like you're looking for a needle in a haystack. You know what I mean?
It's interesting that, this has evolved, and I love that it's evolved from your personal story. It's not something that you just, I suppose, decided, I see a gap in the market for this. It was that you were actually actively online in a dating. And I think that's what's great about it, is that you're coming with all this knowledge, and what you don't, you're going to obviously introduce something that isn't all this swiping and all the cultures that don't resonate with you, as someone that was actively looking for someone and being someone that has your background in personal development.
Exactly. So it's kind of what Susan and I say. We were looking for an opportunity. I knew I wanted out of the business. I decided that I was going to go the partnership route with my friend who has been a personal development coach, a life, love and success coach. And I had been mindset coaching for years, my sales reps. So we knew we wanted to do something within the realm of personal development. We just didn't see how we were going to unpack that other than being coaches, right?
Yes.
So when this opportunity, oh my God, I think we really thought it was an idea whose time has come. And why not? These days, when you're getting involved in a particular type of business, if it's very broad, we were advised to make it niche, right? To really target in on something that nobody else was doing at the time. And so for us, that was deciding on the online dating website or app, but within the personal development world. So really, the app is for people who are passionate about personal growth. So by doing it that way, the thing of it is, when people come on the website, they already have that in common.
Yeah.
Right. And that's on my love list, right? We should all have a love list of the top qualities that we're looking for if we're not currently in a relationship. And that's one of the things.
Let me stop you there, because that's a concept that I would never have thought of, and possibly one that maybe others wouldn't either. If somebody is leaving one relationship, they may not be in the headspace even to think to do something like that. So when I heard that you did that, I heard you talking about it in one of your videos, I thought, I love this. So tell us a little bit more about that, rather than, because it's not all of us that would think of doing that.
Yeah. Actually, myself and my partner are doing a series of free convos right now on over 4 weeks on 4 great love hacks Okay.
Right.
And the first one is putting together your love list.
Mm.
And the love list is essentially the qualities of the person that you put a list of the qualities of the person that you would like to meet in your life. And the idea is not to make it like we've had clients who had a list of over 200 items with like a map and all of that on a big poster board. Like,
Wow.
I
Yeah.
get confused looking at that.
Yeah.
Imagine the universe looking
Yeah.
at that. And you could attract, the idea is that you attract to you what you have decided you need in your life. It's about the law of attraction in reality. And the overall idea is that unless you have that list, you're attracting everything and everybody.
Mm.
Right. So that I found that the more I've refined, and the list evolves over time, the more I refine my list, because you have to go out and have dates and have relationships and figure out what you do want and what you do want. And then you have a relationship and then you say, oh, I got to refine my love list because I had forgotten, like one of the guys I was involved with had an addiction to alcohol. Right. I had
Okay.
forgotten that on my list. So now it's on my list that they have to be addiction free. So the idea is that you refine it so that it really reflects the type of person that you can envision spending a true love, right? That you can envision spending the rest of your life with, and that the universe will conspire to bring those type of people to you. And I found that since I've started using the list, the quality of people I'm attracting to me has gone up a lot. I'm attracting less people, but that means I am wasting less time,
Yeah.
right? Because the online dating world, there's thousands of profiles. It's insane. So this helps you to refine, waste less time, and attract better quality people that resonate more with you. Because the last thing you want is dating fatigue, or God forbid that you start to give up on love because your heart is closing over because you think it's hopeless because you're not able to find people that really work with you,
And
right?
that's a big thing, isn't it? Especially if somebody has had, excuse me, relationship issues in the past, and that could be a wound that they carry anyway. You don't want that to be
Yes.
layered over. So I love that idea, and I love the fact that it's something like that that evolves as well as we grow. As you said, we all grow all the time, and we may forget to put down one thing that we don't want to attract. And it's lovely that you are attracting it. And I would say probably in all areas of your life, because you've allowed energy to flow. Excuse me, because that's that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yes.
Energy flowing
Yes.
and having the right energy. Yeah, I love it.
Excellent. It's kind of like you with the summit, right? You're attracting all of these wonderful people to you because you have an intention. You
Yes.
know how you want this summit to serve people. So the people that you're attracting are giving that kind of value. It's great.
Yes, I agree. And I mean, it's not that long ago I met you, but I automatically felt good connection to you and good energy, I suppose,
Yeah.
and was thinking, oh, I'd love to ask Tina onto the summit. So yes, I see what you mean.
Absolutely. So actually, that is a great example of something that we're offering on our dating website, and that is coaching programs. So we have self-love coaching programs. We also have profile coaches that help our users tell the story of them, because sometimes people find it difficult to really see themselves objectively and and what their true great qualities are. So our profile coaches will help tell the story of you, right? What you're all about. Because the better or the more complete your profile, the better you will be able to attract great people to you, right?
Of
Because people
course,
have
yeah.
a better idea of who they are, of who they're responding to. We also have style coaches as well. So sometimes, like me, I was in a relationship for 7 years, and sometimes it's great after a divorce, it's a great time for self-reflection to figure out the lessons that you've learned so that you can grow and have maybe more healthy or a different type of relationship going forward. So, and also because you're doing that inner work and you feel like you've grown so much, like you're growing inside, but the outside is still what you look like several years ago. You know what I mean? And plus you want to look fresh and new and exciting when you're out there on the dating scene, right? But what better time for a style reboot? And we do virtual style reboots.
I think that's wonderful that's included, because self-love, I would can only imagine, is not obviously at its, maybe especially after maybe a bad breakup or something, that's probably the last thing that we may have been used to doing for so long, and to get that service along with this, and as you say, we're already going to be on a personal development journey anyway, is just a wonderful service to offer. And the makeover, yes, it's all good. It's all
Yeah.
very excuse me, it's all very in line with what you're trying to do, and with having the energy flow. with the right people.
Exactly, exactly. And one very unique feature on our website as well with LoveInSync is that, and actually you just got going with that a little bit, and you see the benefits of doing lives, right, and doing videos. So on our site also, everybody's going to be required to do a personal video, 30 seconds to a couple of minutes. First of all, it validates the pictures, because that's one of the things with online dating. Often people put their pictures of when they were back in their heyday,
Yeah.
right, in high school or 10 years ago. And I've had some nasty surprises when I've showed up to meet people. They don't look at all like their pictures, right? Still their pictures, but from so long ago. So the video is a way to validate the pictures. But secondly, and I think most importantly, is that we ask people to talk about what's most important to them in their lives. Like, for example, the moment in my life when I felt the most inspired, the moment in my life when I felt the most loved, the moment in my life when I started working on my bucket list, and this is what I did. You know what I mean? So we're asking people to talk about something that's significant to them, that really touches their heart. Because when you're talking about something that touches you inside, the real you kind of comes forward. You know what I mean? And we have a better idea of who that person is, as well as, you know, you see their body language, you see how they express themselves, you hear their voice. You know what I mean? So it gives you so much more than information to be able to say, hey, this is someone, maybe the appearance is not, you know, maybe on a traditional dating website, somebody that you would have swiped because their appearance was like so-so, but you see them talking on the video, you see the level of intelligence, you see how deep they are and how loving they are. Like, oh my God, that's an amazing person, right? I want to get to know them.
Yes, I love that. So this is really about finding your purpose in relation to your passion as well, which is the title, which I love that the two of them are so linked here, and how you're really showing people how important it is to be so spot on with ourselves, because we don't always know our own story. It's, you know, somebody else will always see us so differently
Yes.
to what we say. We know, we might say our self-talk could be quite negative, and we might think of our situation as negative, while somebody on the outside is great to point out to us, you know, look at that wonderful video you've just done. Can you, you know, they can see our inner light shining through.
Exactly, exactly. And that type of feedback can be key. That's for sure. So one of the things that I do as well, and that's still related to your question, is that I have since become, in order to help me in my work on LoveInSync, I've since become a passion facilitator. Okay, a passion test facilitator. My partner Susan calls me the passionista.
Love it.
So basically, the passion test was created by Chris and Janet Attwood, who, you know, use that to inspire their own lives when they found out that the top 100 most successful people in North America are people that are living their top 5 passions. Right. So from there, they said there must be a way to help people tap into their passions. So they work with neuroscientists, and they did, you know, lots of research to find out the best way to help people tap into their passions. So that's why they put together such a cohesive program. So the passion test is essentially a workshop or program that we take people through in order to help them tap into what are their innermost passions, what's the most important for them right now, because it kind of forces you to find out what's important to you. And it's crazy even to say that, right? That we have to be forced into, or we have to be made to look at what's the most important for us, what's the most important to us in the world. But sometimes, you know, especially after we've been a mom for a while, a parent, we've been through maybe a few different relationships, we're so busy putting bread on the table, we're so busy trying to be the best that we can be as a parent, as a you know, as a career person, that we forget about ourselves and what's inside of us. And especially as women, right? We have the tendency, I'm not saying it happens all the time, but we have the tendency to put other people's needs first. So what happens when that happens is who we really are inside, and we just don't even know anymore because we're so busy taking care of everybody else.
Absolutely, and that's for sure. And it is a lot. It's the feminine energy, isn't it? It's societal as well. And when, you know, this was something I was researching for one of my lives even this morning as well, about, it's like, you know, we fall into these roles, and it's how we see our values develop around the feminine and around the masculine when we were young, and we see how mom was treated and dad was treated, and how then we value ourselves comes out of that, and how layers and layers can be
Right.
put on this through story
Yes.
that really isn't our own core essence at all.
Exactly. I think you just hit the nail on the head there. The story isn't our own because we've listened to what our parents wanted us to do, or we see things, you know, with our friends or social media,
Yeah.
right? So we're influenced by so much stuff that we're getting further and further away from our own inner truth, right? And who we really are. So is it okay if I give a few tips to people about how to tap into their
Oh,
passion?
yes, of course. Get that out of the way.
I just want to start off because I love this quote from Janet Attwood, and which is, when you're clear, what you want in your life shows up, but only to the extent that you're clear. So the magic of tapping into your passion is that you can start to automatically, I would say magically attract things into your life that you didn't think was possible, because you are doing kind of what you were meant to do in this life. And I believe that we were all born with a purpose, right? And that we all have these superpowers and gifts. It's just a matter of tapping into it, keeping track of it, because it changes and evolves over time. And yeah, as much as possible, I'm going to start by giving away what Janet would say is the number one secret to the passion test. And the number one secret to the passion test is, whenever you're faced with the choice of an action, event, or any type of choice, especially if it's significant, if you choose in favor of your passions, you can never go wrong. Right? Sometimes it's difficult for us to make decisions in life. So this is a tool to help you make decisions, especially when you know that you're attuned to your passions. So how to get into your passions to begin with? Oftentimes people would say that, you know, there's certain things that we are all good at, right? And like for you, for example, Dolores, you seem like an amazing people connector, right? You're a really great communicator. And maybe people have said that to you for a long, long time, and you inspire them, right? And then sometimes you think, like, for example, I'm, pretty good at decorating, right? And at fashion and all of that. And for me, it's just like breathing. I just give it away. Anybody wants my advice, I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah,
there. I'm going to help them out. And it's just, you don't value it. I've never taken courses. I have no idea why I say what I do about fashion and about style and all of that. But it's usually on the money. It's just we all have a passion like that. So there's ways of working on that and monetizing that, right? And I worked in financial services. What does that have to do with style or about passion? But the key is, I'm also very passionate about education. And that's what kept me going for all of those years.
yeah.
I'm just going to give an example before I give like a couple of really key points about finding your passion, because this is the reinforcement, and this is the reason why we should all work on our passions. Is that during the times that I found it really difficult, there were difficult times, and like in anybody's career, I was working as an independent self-employed salesperson. So if I did not sell, I did not eat. Okay. If my reps did not sell, I did not eat. So when there was financial turbulence in the world, there were economic downturns, or for whatever, we got a bit of bad press. Sometimes that happens, in any business. It was like everybody was, headed for the lifeboats. I said, no, we still have a good product. Let's get reminded why we're doing this. You know what I mean? And get back to the reason why I got there to begin with. So it gives you the fuel. Working in your passion gives you the fuel to continue through the tough times. What it also gives you is a creativity, right? So what we used to do in the past, when I started off in the business, over 30 years ago, to find clients, what was working then did not work all the time. So you had to get creative with marketing and different approaches and what appealed to people, etc. We have a big immigrant population here. Every time there was a wave of somebody from a different country, we had to look at our different approaches to that. So it makes you, when you love what you do, it just taps into your creativity. It's amazing. And as well, it makes you lucky. It makes you lucky in the sense that it attracts things to you that you think, how did I land up with all of these amazing reps who, I don't know where they came from. Just all of a sudden they said they heard of me and they called me, and all of a sudden my agency was doubled. I didn't do anything. they just called me, right? Somebody heard me speak somewhere on the topic, and they introduced me at a certain company, and, you know, all of their employees are on payroll deduction, you know, and this was obviously financially very viable for me. Just things were happening out of the blue.
Lovely.
Right. So it's like, it just attracts all that luck or all that magic. So
Like a magnet, what you're like a magnet
like
attracting to you. Mm.
exactly. So one of the first things that you can do, one of the first clues is, first of all, go into that headspace of thinking, what am I naturally good at? Right? Sit and meditate, just do free flow writing, whatever it is that, you know, that will enable you to really figure out what your natural gifts are. And even with that, if you're not sure, talk to a dear friend of yours, because for sure they will, or a couple of friends of yours, right? They'll be able to give you some feedback. And from there, then an exercise that you can do, usually we take people through a workshop of doing this, because we guide people, because there's, but I'm just giving like the overall view. The thing you could ask yourself, or you should ask yourself at this point, when my life is ideal, I am. The words that follow I am are really powerful. It really speaks to your heart and your soul. Like, for example, if you say, I am powerful, I am inspiring, right? Certain words that I say, it almost brings tears to my eyes, right? Because it resonates so deeply. Whereas you just, like in life, you've got to be very careful the words that you use. If you say, oh, I'm so stupid to have done that. No. Erase, delete, right? Because that's the energy that you're taking into yourself. You have to be very careful of your diet of words that you feel yourself, that you feed yourself, particularly with the words that follow I am. Okay. When my life is ideal, I am. When my life is ideal, I am connecting beautiful souls together so they can live their purpose. When my life is ideal, I am, what's that?
That's lovely.
When my life is ideal, I am gardening, because, you know, you love the earth. You love to see beautiful things grow. That's amazing. When my life is ideal, I am spending time with my wonderful sons, right? I'm spending quality time with my wonderful sons. When my life is ideal, I am earning at least, you know, $100,000 a year, whatever it is, whatever, you know, fits into your. So of all of the things that you're going to think of when you do, when my life is ideal, I am, you have to make sure that they cover all aspects of your life, right? You've got to make sure that you have stuff in there about relationships. When my life is ideal, I am traveling with my love. You know, when my life is ideal, I am spending quality time with my beloved partner, right? So relationships, work, career, fun, spirituality, education, contribution, right? So, and your physical environment. When my life is ideal, I'm enjoying a beautiful house with big trees in the background, 5 bedrooms because I want to entertain people. You know, whatever it is, it's your dream. It's your ideal life.
And are these separate statements on each of these areas of your life you're recommending?
Yes. You'll only need a few words after my life is ideal when I am. Okay. My life is ideal when I'm spending quality time with my 2 boys. That's one. My life is ideal when I am connecting inspired women that help each other in their work and their careers. My life is ideal when. So the idea is you do at least 10, then you bring it down to the 5 most important. And why 5 is because they've done a lot of research, and it shows that the brain can only handle so many things effectively, so many different items effectively at one time. And apparently 5 is the magic number.
Love it.
Okay. So whatever you do, and also put them in order of importance, the 5. And we take in the workshop as well, we take people through a process of getting to putting them in order of importance.
Sure.
So that's so important. So yeah, and then from there, what I do, and I highly recommend, you put it on your inspiration card. So these are my passion tests, my top 5 passions, right? And I'll just give you an example. My life is ideal when my life is ideal, I am enjoying healthy, loving relationship with my son. When my life is ideal, I am enjoying the freedom of having multiple income streams. I'm currently single, so that's reflected in my next one. When my life is ideal, I'm experiencing loving, supportive relationship with a beautiful man, with a beautiful, hot man.
Yay. I like it.
Just to give your top 5. So it doesn't mean that overnight, does that, that you leave your job, you leave your spouse or whatever. No, what it means is that whenever you have choices to make, you think of your passions, and maybe it is a time to reevaluate your job. Like I did the passion test with a client a little while ago, and what she discovered is that she was totally jaded in her existing job. She had been there for 30 years. She's almost ready to retire anyway, and she thought she was just going to laze on the couch after that. But going through the passion test, what we discovered is that she wasn't living her passion, and she's determined that before she ultimately retires or God forbid passes away, she really wants to do something productive that she loves, that she absolutely loves. So we figured out what she's going to be doing, right? Or at least a rendition of that. So do you want me to tell you what that was?
Okay, yes, why not?
So she was an auditor here in the Canadian government for over 30 years. And, she was really good at what she's doing, but she's a very vivacious, beautiful, outgoing woman who loves connecting people and organizing events. And anybody who goes to any of her parties or stuff she gets going just loves them because she brings that energy to what she does. But it's not her thing, to stay in an office all the time and try to, kind of trap people in their taxes and all that, right? So in a very important job, but still it didn't necessarily resonate with her all of those years. It did bring her a lot, though. It brought her that experience about financial planning, about the tax system, about how to be careful with your money. So what she's going to probably start doing, it looks like what it is right now, is put together courses for women on how to take control and manage their finances and have fun with it at the same time.
And that's wonderful. I love that, because it's looking at something that we could consider maybe a bit negative because it wasn't just what we were wanting to do, but how you can take the good from that and bring that forward into something that you're passionate about. I love that.
Absolutely. So even if she couldn't leave her job, soon, it's something she could develop on the side.
Yeah.
Right. And it wasn't a conflict with her existing job. So if you can't leave your job right now because we have to put bread on the table and these are a bit crazy times, but during the time of COVID-19, what better time to kind of reevaluate what we're doing. And if we're not maybe developing a side hustle or a side activity, maybe there's ways to integrate a certain amount of passion into our day-to-day lives at work and make some creative suggestions, right? To maybe how to, juice things up a little bit. And did you know, this is crazy, 2017 Gallup poll, Dolores, shows that only 13% of North Americans, I don't know globally, but only 13% of North Americans say that they're working their passion in their work.
Wow, that's a huge number,
In spite of the fact that employers are spending over $100 billion in training programs, it's not working. Right? They haven't learned yet how to tap into people's passions. And I think this is a tool that these employers could use at work in order to kind of reframe themselves and step out of traditional ways of doing things, and particularly to empower individuals with their decision making. Right?
Absolutely. And I think, one of the positives, definitely there are a lot of negatives, as we know, coming out of the coronavirus with all the deaths and that, but I think, and they are atrocious. But I do hear a lot of positive coming through, is that people are realizing that they don't want the same type of life they had before this. And that's only maybe 3 weeks ago. And it could be because they realize like that they're not working on purpose. They might know exactly the terminology to use, but they just feel something that I don't want to go back to that. They now have more maybe quality time with their children, or they might want to work from home, which their employer might have said before this, no, not possible. But because
Right.
now that they've actually managed it, they have a process in place, that things will never be the same again for a lot of people. And we can find the positives. You know, us lucky people that can find the positives, I think it's great.
Exactly. And there may be some real, short to medium term pain in that regard as people's
True.
jobs are, they lose their jobs and they're forced to do other things. But sometimes in life, like the way I was ejected from my other job, like it was just horrible for a little while. And I felt like the whole world was conspiring against me, but finally it was the best thing that ever happened. And sometimes the thing that you think is the worst thing turns out to be the best thing.
And my story as well was in 2008, 2009, the recession put me out of a career I was in for 20 years, which was law.
Right.
And,
Right.
but that was not a self-chosen career. So, and it's a blessing now that I will always look back on that and thank that time, because it threw me on a different path, and one that I developed that is my passion. And I don't feel like I work when I interview people and do the work I do. So yeah, as you say, it may not feel like, and in the moment, it might take a while for things to come right, but ultimately it may be in the long run so better for our health and so better for sustaining our family environment, or whatever that is, building relationships again with people that we haven't spent as much time with in our family as we may have wanted to. So yeah, it really opens up a lot for us to look at.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So can I leave you with 3 tips on
Yes,
finding your
please.
passion? 3 final tips. Okay. So the first one is really work with that phrase, right? When my life is ideal, I am. And make at least 10 things on the list, break it down to 5 and put them in order of importance. The second tip is that make sure you cover all aspects of your life, right? From the spiritual to relationships, work, and finances. That's really important, right? That it's balanced. And the third one I would say is go out and take action,
Mm.
right? So based on your passions, if you're not, they could confirm that you are working your passion, and that's amazing, right? But if you're inevitably, I just say that because there's so many people that are not, right? Which is what I've seen and heard, and based on the stats I just told you. If that's the case, then start looking seriously at things that you can do to either spice up where you work right now or develop other types of projects, and maybe start dreaming, right?
Mm.
Just start dreaming. And just the fact that you're more aware of what really lights you up inside, I would say that just that level of awareness can attract things to you. And also it just attunes you to things that were maybe already there, but now it has more meaning for you.
Mm.
It's kind of like a very simple, like the first time I bought a white SUV here in Montreal, I thought, oh my God, I don't see many of these. I love this car. As soon as I bought it, it's like every second
Yeah.
car was a white SUV, right? Because you see things differently once you kind of take ownership of something, right? And be patient with yourself, like finding your life, your passions, which inevitably are like breadcrumbs that lead you to what your life purpose is, right? Your passions give clues as to what your life purpose is. So if it's a process, right? And, it may not happen overnight that you come to that conclusion, but just shining the awareness on that and identifying what your passions are and choosing in favor of your passions. And also, if you really are able to kind of tune into what they are, and you develop a program or you develop some kind of action plan of how to get towards them, focus on your goals, do a lot of action towards your goals. And thirdly, let it go, right? Release the attachment to the outcome, because that's what the universe needs. Because if you hold on it too tightly, you can create blockages.
Mm.
And just be open to how things are going to turn up. When I put out the intention to the universe that I wanted to find my second passion in life and just leave my former job of 32 years, which wasn't easy to do, as soon as I put that out there, the universe started conspiring and to first of all, make me uncomfortable to get me out, but secondly, present me with this opportunity
Mm.
that normally I never would have been open to, right? Starting a dating website for those passionate
Yeah.
about personal growth. Like if you had said that to me a few years ago, I would have thought you were, crazy,
Mhm.
right? So you just got to be open to how it's going to show up for you.
And let go. Yes. Oh, I love that. Tina, I'm so delighted that I had you on the summit because, you're bringing something in that is different to what we've talked about before. Obviously, it's in the same vein of helping people, and it's a different way to look at things. And there are a lot of people out there that, firstly, I think don't know how and don't even feel that their self-worth stops them from having self-care, from deserving somebody in their life, someone to support them. It can be from their past stories or whatever. And to know, I think that there is somewhere that they can go, that they can all automatically know that someone else is on the journey of personal development, that it's not this kind of a big thing. I think that's phenomenal. And to also know that the supports are there for them. Is this launched yet, Tina?
The app, we're just waiting for approval from Apple. And so,
Okay.
because there's during the time of COVID, things are taking like twice as long. So we expect within the next week or so, the app should be up. LoveInSync.com. You can visit us on the website. The website is really active right now. You can see all of our programs as well as an introduction to our online personal growth platform, which is called Life Makeover Collective, which we're super excited about. And you're already a member of our Facebook group for that.
Yes, indeed I am. And I enjoy the videos. Give me that website again.
LoveInSync.com.
LoveInSync. Well, that's what I will put down at the bottom that people can link into beside the replay to this interview. I'll have a link that people can go straight to the website. It's been an absolute pleasure, Tina. Thank you so much for joining our summit and for adding so much value for people. It's been a pleasure.
You're welcome. The pleasure's totally been mine, and good luck on your future interviews. And to everybody out there, keep listening to Dolores. She's delivering amazing content, and thanks for listening.
Thank you so much.